I'm really glad we're doing this playthrough.
Yeah.
Because for as much pent-up Marvel talk as we can have...
This is a good time for it.
This is a good time for it.
Yeah, I agree.
This is literally like, hey guys, remember when comics were good? The playthrough? Remember when we liked comic books?
I still do. I mean,
Yeah.
I still read comics. Like, I went to Phantoms the other day, and
I haven't been in so long.
like,
They probably forgot I exist.
like the most I read now are like, I still read Spider-Man, even though I'm still kind of like on the fence about it. Like, I'm still kind of getting annoyed with it at the moment.
Right.
Like, I'm reading that. I'm reading Howard the Duck
Well, yeah, you gotta read
because
Howard.
it's Howard the Duck.
Right, you gotta read Howard.
Because he's not going to get a new standalone film if no one reads the comics.
Well, here's the thing. There was apparently there was a thing that who was it that made it? Made Guardians of the Galaxy?
James Gunn.
Yeah. Apparently he said that like someone asked him about Howard the Duck being in the movie. And obviously put a little asterisk on the bottom of the screen here, Tom.
Yeah.
Citation needed. But there apparently I could be wrong. I may have read this, like, I forget where I read this from, but he said that because someone asked him about the Howard the Duck teaser at the end, and he said that if people really want a Howard the Duck movie, give it a couple years.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
So
like,
it's
I
possible.
jokingly want it, and I also, like, actually want it.
Because, like, Howard the Duck is actually a funny character.
Yeah, he's actually really good. I like him.
But in order to do a Howard the Duck
Shit.
film, it has to be a crossover movie.
He can't, like, it's like
can't-
it has to work like how the comics are.
Yes.
Mainly him just trying to be normal and then getting sucked up into like a weird
Yeah.
circumstance, like how every fucking comic goes.
Yeah.
In Howard the Duck, like the run that they have now, it was him getting caught up with the Collector and teaming up with the Guardians of the Galaxy to like make his way back home. Then he goes back home and ends up running into like this crazy like I don't want to say like crazy cat lady, but this lady that's like obsessed with like animal themed superheroes.
Oh, God.
So she kidnaps Howard, Squirrel Girl, which is he does a crossover with Squirrel Girl. The first part of the storyline is in the Squirrel Girl comic. The second part is in the Howard the Duck
Gotcha.
comic. But
That's kind of awesome.
so she like kidnaps Howard the Duck, Squirrel Girl, Kraven the Hunter somehow.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it gets really fucking weird. But like that's how it is. Like that's how I want a Howard the Duck comic.
Yeah, it's got to be really dumb. You know who should be the villain in the Howard the Duck movie? Gong.
Dr. Gong?
Yes, Dr.
Yeah.
Gong.
Yeah.
Because when they did
You know who I want to be in the Howard the Duck movie, but they couldn't do it because of rights?
Caroline in the City.
Yeah, the
Marty
villain,
McFly's mom.
the villain from the first movie. The fucking villain that makes no sense because there's apparently millions of them.
Fucking Dupe. Because they did an X-Men storyline where Dupe's like just helping around the school at one point.
Yeah.
And then like he's like stranded on a planet with Howard the Duck. And him and Howard the Duck fight off a giant race of aliens with a rubber chicken and a broken sword.
Yeah, I do remember that now.
Ooh, I just ziplined past those enemies.
There you go.
Can I even fight them?
Yep, nope, they're gone now.
Okay, good. I didn't want to fight them, I guess. Yeah, like Howard the Duck would be a good one.
It has
Like,
to be.
of, like-
it has to be so stupid though, and I think that's the problem. Is I think people are gonna like, even though Guardians of the Galaxy is a goofy movie, it still has a
It's
serious.
still an action movie at heart.
Yeah, it still has a serious villain with a serious plot.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And while Fox, I think, is much more willing to take a risk with something like Deadpool, I don't think Marvel Studios is. I just don't think they are.
I
don't
think
think
now
they
that
will.
they've seen what Deadpool has done, I think they will be. But
It's gonna depend on what they're gonna want to take a risk with.
Right.
And I'm not saying they didn't take a risk on something like Guardians, because Guardians is a weird property, but like I said, it's still an action franchise at heart.
Right.
And while people don't know the characters, you can still make those characters likable, which is why that you have 5 core characters and you like all of those characters.
Right. Also, don't forget you have your like super spoopy symbiote power.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, I forget how I'm supposed to do that.
I don't remember.
I forget. I wasn't really paying attention in the tutorial.
I think it was one of the R buttons, maybe.
Click R3.
Oh yeah, that might be it.
I totally forgot.
Also, I won't lie to you, I really like Not Really a Person, made mostly out of electricity Electro.
You don't like this version?
You mean
No, I do. That's what I mean. I like this
okay.
version.
You mean Jamie Foxx?
Except for the Wub Wub dubstep fight, which admittedly is still kind of cool, but
It's not for us.
it's not
for us.
You're right. It's not meant for us.
Yeah, you're right. It's cool, but it's not meant for us.
I'm not supposed to get that. But regardless, I like Not Really a Person Electro.
Also, I'm going to say this now, and Ando might hate me for this, but I'm
What?
going to say it anyway. And he's not going to hate me for this part, but I don't think that Amazing Spider-Man 2 was so egregious that they had to go and give the rights back to Marvel and reboot the series
That's
basically
not
again.
what happened, though. That's not actually what happened. What happened is that they were in the midst of announcing Spider-Man 3.
Oh, you know what? Yeah. And he didn't show up to some of it.
He was supposed to show up to a press thing.
And he was like sick.
He had gotten sick, and he told them he wasn't going to show up. And then the people that, I think it was the director or somebody, was supposed to be there to announce that he had signed on to do Spider-Man 3 and it was going to be a thing. And then he didn't show up. Whoever it was got pissed, and they fired him. And then the whole Sony Leaks thing happened.
Okay.
WikiLeaks.
So, are you saying that you think Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 2 was bad? Is that
No.
what you're saying?
I liked it for the most part. I can see why people didn't
I can understand
like
why people hated it. I can totally see how people didn't like it.
I will admit, I was, and you guys know this, I was a huge fucking apologist for fucking Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire.
Yes, you were.
And I will say that shit is objectively worse than Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I agree.
Sorry. Not really, though.
So honestly, I like that universe, and as much as it's going to be cool to see him in the Marvel universe, I would still probably rather have seen an Amazing Spider-Man 3.
I disagree because I now that I know more about what was going on behind the scenes, Amazing Spider-Man 3 and 4 were going to be terrible.
Really?
Yeah. Because they didn't really have any ideas, so it was like they were going to and I know that all of this like bring people in from alternate universes makes sense in the grand scheme of comic books because that's what happens, right? But the problem with that is that that's
shit,
not.
I should have been using that before.
Yeah. The problem.
Did not realize
the problem
that
with that is that it doesn't really like. People aren't as willing to be like, oh, alternate universe, this is a new person in movies. It's just not that easy to handle.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was like, oh, alternate universe Gwen is showing up, and now she's going to be Spider-Gwen. And the Sinister Six, but not really the Sinister Six. And maybe Venom, but we weren't sure, but, maybe.
The one that I heard about that I was like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever heard, was apparently they had just announced that it was going to be a female lead Spider-Man movie, was a movie about Aunt May as a spy in the 60s or some
Yeah.
shit.
Oh,
Was like
fuck
the
off.
dumbest fucking thing I had ever heard.
Yeah, I remember
And
hearing
apparently
about that.
it's based off of like a mini series or something, but it's still super stupid sounding.
That's fucking
But, like,
dumb.
That, and they never announced that. They only said that it was like that it was like a female lead in a Spider-Man movie.
Well, as it turns out, it was supposed to be. It ended up it was going to be the Spider-Gwen.
Oh,
movie.
okay. See, I thought I had heard something about that. It was
They
supposed
had
to be an
and
Aunt
again
May.
they had hawed their way around all of it for so long that you would like nobody was ever sure. And by the time you actually heard about it, it was when they were like, oh yeah, like female lead 2016 and or whatever. Because technically, by the time this episode airs, Amazing Spider-Man 3 was supposed to have been out already.
Really?
Yeah.
Because it was like June 10th or something like that. 2016 it was supposed to be out.
Huh.
But yeah,
And I know
I'm
I've
glad that they didn't make it. Looking back on, with the information we have now, I'm really glad they didn't do it.
Yeah, and I know I've said this before, but I'm just really against Marvel's like, well, we don't have the rights to this, so let's treat this character like shit everywhere.
Right.
Like they do with X-Men.
Right.
So I'm just, and I like almost all of the mainstay Marvel movies right now, but I'm just really against that fucking shitty-ass mentality that Marvel has
Sure,
against the
sure,
X-Men.
yeah.
So anytime that there's like, that someone outside of Marvel has a license and they do something good with it, I
you
want
wanna
to
see
see
them
more
continue
of
to
it
do that,
because
yeah.
I want Marvel to quit being bitches about the fucking movie rights.
Yeah, and I think
Because I think that's a shitty thing.
one of the
And I think they're
things
only
that I
hurting
remember-
themselves.
one of the things I remember reading, it was basically to the extent of like, you know, Sony had decided that they were going to do Spider-Man 3, and then all the shit happened with Andrew Garfield, and they're like, okay, we're going to reboot it again because we can't have, you know, we want to have the same guy playing Spider-Man, and they're like, oh, shit, you know, do we really want to reboot it again, and all this other shit, and then that's when they were approached by Marvel, and Marvel was like, hey, well, fucking do you a favor, like, you can make money off Spider-Man, and we'll make it.
Nope. Okay. Yeah.
So it was kind of
Because the other thing to me is like, it doesn't even like they're concerned about other people making money off of their characters. They just want the right to use their characters however they want to use them.
right.
Which I can understand to a point, but when you're fucking with literally your own like in the comics, they're literally their own franchise. Like they they retcon everyone for not being a mutant now. Like it's just it's
Scarlet
so,
Witch's dad isn't Magneto anymore.
Yeah, and they
I forgot about
like,
that.
Yeah, oh yeah, they did that just so they could like. So they could
yeah,
legally
without a
use
doubt.
them in the movies. That was
Without a
it.
doubt. Without a doubt. But
And I'm certain, I don't know this for certain, but I could probably tell you with almost certainty that the reason that, and spoiler alert, the reason that they haven't used Scarlet Witch in the X-Men franchise yet, and the reason that they killed
won't.
off Quicksilver is because they could put they left
specifically-
Quicksilver
that-
in X-Men.
Yeah, that was-
and they left Scarlet Witch in.
that was specifically stated at one point.
Oh, was it really?
I believe. I
assumed that
remember
it was,
hearing.
but-
I remember hearing that they had to work something out to get Scarlet Witch in the Avengers movies, and they had to work something out to let Quicksilver be in the X-Men movies, and they kind of worked out a deal where it was like,
And
well,
honestly-
one they could have one and one could have the other.
Honestly, I
I don't
think.
want to say I told you so.
I think Scarlet Witch being in Avengers works better.
Yeah.
And I think Quicksilver working in X-Men works better.
Yep.
I think they did a hell of a better job with Quicksilver in X-Men. I think he's a cooler character. I think
Oh,
he
yeah.
makes more sense. I think just the cinematography that they did in not Apocalypse, but the one before that, I think is like the coolest
Days of
thing I've
Future
ever
Past,
fucking
yeah.
seen.
Yeah.
And I think if you're gonna have an X-Men character that's gonna be like, I can fuck with reality and do all this crazy shit, then you're gonna use Phoenix anyway. So why would you even use
Right.
Scarlet Witch?
And like I think we mentioned this before when we all went and saw Apocalypse together. It's like as soon as you like the instant they brought in Jean Grey, it was the first thing they did. It was like
was set up-
let's
set it up.
Phoenix. Like okay, we get it.
Yeah, that's what I said afterwards. I'm like, I'm kind of getting sick of seeing Phoenix. Like, let her be Jean Grey for like a movie and a half at least.
Yeah.
Well,
Like
the reason they
it's
did
a-
it is
if
because
if it's a slow burn, like if it's like it takes 3 movies for them to get there.
Yeah.
Like they set it up in the first one, they set it up a little bit more in the second one, and then they pay it off. Then sure, okay.
Yeah.
But like if she's even remotely Dark Phoenix in whatever movie they follow it up with, I don't care. And I gotta tell you this, I liked X-Men Apocalypse, but I kind of hope that they just reboot that whole franchise. Because I thought they fixed it with Days of Future Past,
Oh, yeah.
and then they pretty much just fucked it up again with Apocalypse.
Yeah, you're not completely wrong.
I mean,
think
it's
they
not
do-
X-Men 3
I think
bad.
there's a lot of problems with Apocalypse, i.e., there's too many characters,
Too many cooks.
and like none of the horsemen besides Apocalypse need to be there.
Yes.
None
I
of
agree.
them.
And I'll say this.
Angel does nothing.
Hey, you know what? Angel did more than fucking Psylocke did.
At least he did a cool...
Psylocke...
At least he had
Psylocke
cool wings.
served no fucking purpose in that whole movie.
At
and
least
you
he
know
had
it.
cool wings and did a spinny-doo move.
Yeah, I really like Psylocke though, as much as like I'm
Yeah.
weeble wobbly on Olivia Munn.
I don't like her.
No, I don't either.
I don't know. She's just I don't know.
I don't really care.
I don't hate her.
She's up
but
her own ass. That's what I think.
Yeah. But anyway...
She was
I
on
just-
Attack of the Show with Kevin
no one
Pereira,
cares,
and like,
though.
holy shit, you were the
Look
like
where
it,
look where that is now.
yeah.
I think there was so much potential to do so much in that movie, and I think they were just throwing characters in because they want to like we were talking about earlier, you know, world building. They want to build this huge world of all these characters that you're going to see again. But if Psylocke has 4 lines, why is she there?
Yeah.
Like, why not?
To look cool and be purple.
Why not have Angel be the one horseman that matters? Because you can use him.
And he should have been the one horseman that mattered, but they made Magneto one of the horsemen, and then he's the only one you're made to care about.
Right. And again, we've talked about this a billion times. I don't care about Magneto anymore. Like, just
Like,
let
they
it...
just keep putting it like,
Yeah.
oh, it's another decade later, and here's Magneto again. He shows back up.
Right. It's just, like, pointless. Like, what? Well, why? Like, we get it.
Let's
Like-
have him kill another bunch of guys with really cool magnet powers.
Because,
like, it was
like,
cool.
I get
it was
that-
cool when you did it in First Class with a goddamn Nazi quarter or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But like,
That was pretty cool though.
that scene's really cool. Actually, I love that scene.
But, like, I just
it doesn't. It like when you do it in the forest to a bunch of like you've already done this scene before and it was done better.
Right. I think my issue with Magneto stuff is that, like, yeah, I get that, like, that Xavier and Magneto have this dynamic, right, where it's like we're friends but we're also enemies. And I get how that's an interesting dynamic and how, like, you know, Magneto's supposed to be fighting between his ability to want to believe Xavier's side of the story and his own.
Right.
I get that that's an interesting dynamic, but how many times do we have to see it?
Yeah.
How many times do we have to see it? We saw it in First
like,
Class.
yeah.
We saw it pay off in Days of Future Past. And then he's just like, oh, now I'm a nice guy again because I did my thing and now I'm a nice guy. Oh, but now I'm a bad guy again, but now I'm a nice guy again. Will I be bad next time? Probably. Will I turn nice for no reason? Sure. Thanks, Spider-Man 3 Sandman.
Yeah. Really. Holy fucking shit!
I do not remember.
The fuck is going on?
I was gonna say you're supposed to use your bleep or floopty-doo power. But yeah, like it's the whole, like, it's just the same thing over and over. It's like, yes, we get it. Magneto wants to be good, but the world keeps proving him that he should be bad. I get it. And he doesn't always need to be the main focus, and that was my problem with the original X-Men series as well. It's like we get it. You got Ian McClellan, and he's awesome. But just maybe don't use him for one movie.
Yeah.
Like, Magneto is
Or
not the...
put him in a secondary role or something. Something different.
Magneto has never been that much of a focus in the X-Men.
There's so
continuity.
many other villains that you could do.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit better in the newer one because at least he's not always the bad guy.
Right.
But he's still there.
Right.
He's still always a main character.
Right.
When
All
you
right, I
could be
guess we'll
having
have
the
to
X.
Oh no, I have to get 2. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, wait a second.
I was like,
what
why
is going
that,
on
Why is that
here?
not doing anything?
Yeah, I was just as confused as you were. So where is next person?
I don't know if we talked about this, but if you have to pick, like, you know, we'll call them different Spider-Men, but, you know, Black Suit counts as a different Spider-Man to me. Ben Reilly counts as a different Spider-Man to me. Who is your favorite Spider? Like, what is your favorite Spider-Man costume or Spider-Man? Or Spider-Lady, Spider-Woman?
I like the 2099 Spider-Man outfit the most.
Okay.
I'm not sure if he's necessarily my favorite. I don't really know who I would pick as my favorite. I also have a real affinity for the stupid armor suit Spider-Man.
Iron
Yeah.
Spider?
No, not Iron Spider.
The armor Spider-Man from remember
Oh, okay.
in the shitty PlayStation 1 game
Yeah,
where you
yeah.
could get that like big silver armor costume.
Yeah.
That's the one he's talking about.
Okay.
I have a couple. I really like the black suit. I really like Scarlet Spider with the stupid hoodie. But
Yeah, I
my
like
favorite
Scarlet Spider, too.
like one of my favorite Spider-Man characters, and I don't know what name she goes by now, but it's the original Spider-Woman with the black suit, with the blonde
yeah,
hair.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if is that Silk or is that a different person?
Oh, God, no. Not Silk is new.
Oh, Silk is new? Okay. Was that Black? No, it wasn't Black Widow.
Are you just thinking of Spider-Woman?
It
Yeah,
was just
I am
OG
thinking-
Spider-Man.
Yeah, I am thinking of Spider-Woman. I just can't remember because she was in, we were talking about Thunderbolts earlier, and she was in Thunderbolts for a while.
Yeah, a little while, yeah.
I just don't remember what her name is. Like, I don't, because they gave her a different name. She wasn't Spider-Woman anymore.
Right.
It was like, it was
Because
some,
Bendis had to use the other Spider-Woman in
Right.
everything for a while.
yeah. Which I guess makes sense when you look at it in retrospect.
Well, she's got like pheromone powers, so you're supposed to think that she's like the sexiest thing on fucking Earth.
Right.
That's why that was kind of the whole setup why they used her as the Skrull Queen.
She had her sexy pose powers that made everyone uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Where her butt was like that whole thing was weird because that picture is really fucking ugly.
Maddox did a
Bring that
great.
up.
Maddox did a great video about how that is like the most bullshit thing ever. That people got mad about that.
Well,
because
it's not-
Spider-Man isn't like.
Oh yeah, he has worse poses than that.
Like, yeah, one of the Todd McFarlane Spider-Man, it's just like his junk in your face.
Yeah, well, every Todd McFarlane Spider-Man image is like that. It's just like spider dick all up in your grill. But like the image, like the actual picture of that, like it might be, it probably is sexually objective, sure, but it's a hideous fucking picture. Like,
Right.
it is disgusting looking.
And people are like, oh, she could never be in that pose. And like, once
Yeah.
again, Spider-Man is always in the most dumb fucking poses.
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, you're probably right. She probably
Tom,
could
bring up every sexy Spider-Man pose ever and put it on the screen.
Tom,
put in pictures of sexy Hawkeye.
fucking Operation Hawkeye or whatever that was called.
Rule 34 Hawkeye?
No,
Different thing.
it's literally people taking like sexy comic book poses from like the 90s and just like drawing it as Hawkeye in those poses.
It's so ugly.
You know what? I think I've seen that now that you said that.
The city, all that power.
Don't like
And I thought the shark was bad.
Yeah, seriously. I thought the shark was bad.
Let me see what I can
But yeah, I always really liked Spider-Woman. She was in the Iron Man cartoon, and I remember the first time I
God.
saw her, I was like, I really like, because like I said earlier, I really like the black suit, and on top of it, she was super cool, and she had like, I think it was like purple webbing or something, and I'm like, this is really fucking cool. Like, I really like her.
Yeah.
You're
But yeah,
about
so
to get
the original Spider-Woman, Black Suit Spider-Man, Scarlet Spider. Those are my jams. Ando?
I really like Scarlet Spider is one of my favorites. Scarlet Spider, Spider-Man 2099,
Yeah.
and Black Suit I really like because that was like I read a lot of Spider-Man when I was younger, but like one of the major storylines I remember reading when I was younger was the Secret Wars, and then the Secret Wars, and then Spider-Man, and then Maximum Carnage.
Oh, okay.
I read a lot of.
I think I remember reading some of that.
Oh, you have to-
Oh,
yeah.
that's right. I have to zip line.
fucking green jelly.
Right where I'm
But I like. I also like. This is gonna be a given for me, but I really like Spider Ham.
Yeah.
Pure pork
Just
and
because.
One that's technically not. Well, I mean, it is
How the fuck do
Spider.
you get out of this?
I don't know. One that I really like that I guess you could consider one character or the other is Spider Carnage. Because it combines two things that I love: Carnage and Ben Reilly Spider-Man.
You mean Toxin?
No, I mean Spider Carnage.
Horrible, horrible Toxin.
I liked that bit where they did Carnage's child was Toxin.
Yeah, it was kind of dumb.
I liked it at first.
Yeah,
They
at
didn't
first.
do any like it,
They did nothing. I think
they
he's
did
dead.
nothing with it after that.
Let's play squash the bug.
Because it was supposed to be that he was supposed to hunt the other ones down, and then they never did anything with it.
He was kind of like an anti-venom before anti-venom.
Yeah.
He was like the symbiote killer.
Yeah.
By the way, I absolutely love the scorpion venom.
Oh
Whenever
that's who we were
Scorpion-
forgetting earlier, by the way. When we were
Okay.
talking about the
Yeah. He was Because that was a whole big thing where he turned into Venom, and then Eddie Brock turned into to anti-venom, which
Yeah.
I loved.
I'll keep dishing it out if you keep taking it.
I'm about to die.
Yeah. We should kill those guys. Have you? I guess you have.
Get ready for the breakdown.
Oh, it says you can interrupt his.
Well, no, the rage mode I go into.
Oh, okay.
No.
This is a God of War moment. You're gonna pull his head right under like a spike.
Water.
You're gonna rip Kevin Sorbo's head off.
That is probably one of the best things about that game.
I love the fact that
Kevin
that is
Sorbo was
actually Kevin
in it.
Sorbo. Yeah.
That was a
What
good
if the
callback.
Hermes or someone else is like there's a couple voice actors that play bosses in those games that are actually voice actors that they played that character in TV shows or movies
Yeah.
or something.
Well, wasn't
The
Ivan-
guy that you fight in the water where he turns invisible.
That's Hermes.
Is it Hermes? Yeah, that's
Isn't
he-
Ivan Raimi in one of those as one of those characters?
I don't remember.
Because he was in the Hercules show. Because
Yeah.
of course him and Sam did all those fucking terrible late night Saturday night TV shows.
in the year 2525. Cleopatra 2525.
The worst.
Are you guys
fucking
singing the
show.
song to Lex?
No, we were singing the song to Cleopatra
I know.
2525. Jack of all trades, and that's
Ooh,
where we're gonna end it.
That's the end of Act 1.
End of Act 1.
I think there might be a cutscene, actually. Jesus Christ.
Uh-oh.
More Stan Lee.
Ooh, Stan. Hi, Stan.
He was a simple charlatan.
Magical might at his command. Even I can't begin to fathom it, mighty Marvelites. And
that's saying something. And I thought the Spider-Man was bad.
Oh, now he has real magics.
Oh,
God damn it, Mysterio.
he's the best. Why does he always do snakes, though?
'Cause
It's
he's-
always fucking snakes.
He's a douchebag.
I make two policemen disappear.
That's literally all he ever does in the comics.
Did you ever see? Somebody posted recently. It was you know how they do those superhero texts.
Yeah.
It was two superheroes are texting back and forth. It was Daredevil talking to Spider-Man, and he's like, "Yeah, I just beat up Mysterio for whatever reason." And he's like, "Oh, okay, cool. Do you want to take him on full time or whatever?" And he's like, "I guess." And he's like, "Why was he wearing a fishbowl? And why was he just making hissing noises at me?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "You're right. You can't see his illusions, so it doesn't mean anything to you." And he's like, "Yeah. Why was he wearing a fishbowl on his head?
Did you just see who's in the next set of levels?
Is it fucking everybody's favorite Sandman?
Sandman is next.
Oh boy,
Who are the other ones?
Sandman.
No, we're not. We'll leave that for next
Oh,
time.
come on, you're killing
No,
me.
next
right.
time.
Oh,
See you
you're
next
killing me,
time.
Smalls.
We'll see you next time on Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions.